Are you planning to travel to Italy? Well, of course you are. Well, today we're going to be answering the most common questions that you ask on our channel about traveling to Italy. So watch this video all the way until the end, because today we're going to give you plenty of important tips for traveling to Italy.
Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea, and today we'll give you some very important tips about traveling to Italy. But first, if you like travel-related videos like this one, now is a great time to subscribe button down below so you'll never miss any future videos.
Ah, well, that's great advice. Or us, you know.
Us, yeah,
us,
exactly.
Exactly. So let's begin with some of the most common questions that you ask on our channel. And what would that be?
Okay, so the first one is, how much cash do I need to bring to Italy with me?
Okay.
Well, in our opinion, you only need to bring about €100 per person for a 2-week trip. In fact, you can use your debit or credit card for almost everything in Italy.
Exactly, and everybody just taps.
Exactly.
If you've got your credit card in Apple Pay, just tap. You know, there's very few occasions where you need cash. One might be at hotels. You know, sometimes you have to pay the city tax. And this tax varies from city to city, and it's usually a few euros per person.
Per night, and they usually want cash for this.
You might also need some cash at restaurants if you want to leave a tip. And now you know from watching our video up here, in Italy, tipping is not required. But if a waiter gives you particularly good service, well, tipping is appreciated.
Very appreciated. Now remember, you are not able to tip using your credit card machine, at least not at the time of this recording. Credit card terminals in Italy do not have a tipping feature, so for this reason bring some small notes, like 5 are usually perfect for tipping. Lastly, you might require some coins for bathrooms, but we'll talk about that later. So you see, you only need small denominations of currency in cash.
Yeah, for that trip.
Now, you might wonder, where is a good place to get cash in Italy?
Well, the answer is at any major bank ATM. You can use your debit card to withdraw cash from practically anywhere, from any of the big banks, of course.
Absolutely.
Don't use the money exchange stores, because those stores charge you a huge premium to convert your money. And by the way, this is not just in Italy, but pretty much all over the world, right? Now, of course, if you're looking to exchange larger amounts of money, you might want to use an online money exchange service like Wise, and I'll leave a link in the description below for more information about it. You know, we use it ourselves every single month, and and it's very cheap.
Okay, so moving on to another common question we get asked all the time, and is, can I use US dollar in Italy? Well, Italy uses euro, and stores, bars, restaurants, they only accept euros.
Right, well, we're in Europe, right?
Exactly. In some very touristy area like downtown Rome, downtown Venice, you might see signs that says we accept American dollars. But we strongly recommend you not to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Always pay by credit card. And in fact, those stores, well, they're going to give you a very crappy currency conversion.
Really bad.
Yeah, and charge you a premium to pay in US dollars. And actually, some credit card terminals, they're going to trick you, or at least they're going to try to trick you, and you're going to think of us next time this happens. On the credit card terminal, they're going to ask if you want to pay in US dollars or euros. And I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to say, well, of course, US dollars. The only problem is they're going to add a ridiculous foreign exchange fee, like 15 or 20 or 30% more of the final amount. So if you find yourself using a credit card and the system asks you what currency you're going to want to use, pick euros.
Let's move to another very common question that we get asked all the time. Is it safe to store bags on the train? Well, so many people ask us if it is safe to store bag on the train, and the answer is yes, it's very safe.
Well, where's the train going? Right?
Exactly.
Like,
We have stored our bags on Italian trains many times, and we never had any problem. This is particularly true on high-speed trains, where only people that have an assigned seat can get on the train. For smaller commuter trains, with a lot of passengers getting on and off all the time, we understand that storing bag can be a little concerning. For this reason, we recommend you store the bag in between seats where you can actually see your bag.
Exactly, and if there's not enough space between the seats, well, you can always put them on the seat in front of you, or above you, or beside you. Just keep them close, right? But yeah, in general...
There's no worry about it.
No, exactly. And the next question we get asked a lot about is still about bags on the trains. It's how many bags can you take on the train for free? Well, the answer is you can take as many bags on the train as you like. But keep in mind, you are the one that has to lift up the bag on and off the train. And also, remember that smaller train stations, well, they don't have elevators, or if they do have elevators, then they might be broken. So you might need to carry them up and down the stairs. Sometimes even the escalators don't even work. So for this reason, we strongly recommend you to pack light for your trip, especially if you're planning on taking the trains. By the way, if you want to know more about how to pack for a trip to Italy, check this video up here.
Moving on to another common question we got asked is, are hotels in Italy safe?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hotels in Italy are particularly safe. Now, like anywhere else in the world, you have to use some common sense to make sure to keep yourself safe and your belonging in the hotel. For example, always make sure to lock your room before leaving.
Duh.
One thing we do like to use is the hotel safe. You can use the safe at the hotel for your valuables, items such as your jewelry, your watches, your cash, your passport, and do not open the door to strangers. So I can't recall even having knocked on the door at the hotel other than housekeeping.
And even then, But these tips are pretty much, they're valid everywhere, right? I mean, it's not just in Italy.
All over the world, actually.
Now, our next question is still about safety, and is public transit safe to use? Yes, public transit, that's subways and buses in Italy, are perfectly safe to use. In Italy, like anywhere else in crowded cities, be aware of pickpockets when you're in a very busy station or a train. Also, it helps to be aware of your surroundings, and you'll be fine. Now, I prefer to stay away from the people who are begging for money, or the gypsies, specifically in Rome. But there is one thing that people talk about all the time, and it's these, under the shirt pockets, and I heard about socks with a pocket.
For the money.
Don't use them, because imagine for a moment you're in the front of the Pantheon and you need to take out some money out of your sock. What are you going to do, right? You're going to just stand there. You're going to lift your leg. You're going to, in front of all of these people, you're going to show all of the pickpockets that you're hiding money in your shoe or in your sock or in your pouch that's attached to your waist or inside. Don't do it. Leave it at the hotel.
Only bring a few euros with you and you'll be fine.
Absolutely. And now with Apple Pay and Google Pay and Samsung Pay and all of those, you can pay for everything with your phone.
And go. Moving on to our next question about Italy is, can I eat whenever I want?
Well, I can eat whenever I want,
Yes.
but...
If you mean, can I eat a full sit-down meal at any time at the restaurant? The answer is not really. Let's clarify. Italians usually eat lunch between 12:30 and 2 p.m. And dinner between 7:30 and 9:30, usually earlier in the northern part of the country, and towards the south is much later.
Yeah.
So, non-touristy restaurants are usually closed between 2:30 and 7:30 p.m. In more touristy cities like Rome, Venice, Florence, you might see restaurants that are open all day long. But these restaurants target tourists, and most of the time they are not the most authentic Italian restaurant that you can find.
Exactly, and because you watch this channel, you know now which ones are the touristy restaurants.
Absolutely.
Because if you really want to experience a true, authentic Italian meal, don't go to restaurants that serve dinner at 5:30. Have an aperitivo instead. Speaking about restaurants in Italy, usually they don't bring you the bill until you ask, so you might find that a little strange. Italians would consider it rude if a waiter brings the bill without being asked. So if you want the bill, just flag your waiter and ask for it. You just go like this. Or if you want to know more about Italian restaurants and habits and etiquette, check out this video up here.
Time to move to our next question about Italy is, do you recommend using hop-on and hop-off buses? If you've seen any of our videos before, you know that we love the hop-on and hop-off buses, and that we use them all over the world. However, in Italy, and especially in Rome and Florence, we do not recommend them.
How about Venice?
Well, Venice, there's water.
They don't have any streets.
They have an hop-on, hop-off vaporetto, but different story.
Okay, so reason number one, most Italian cities are very ancient, and they have very narrow streets, and they're just not wide enough to accommodate modern buses. Or they have waterways like Venice, right? Reason number two, most attractions, especially in Rome, well, they're located in the ZTL, or the pedestrian-only areas, and buses, they're not allowed there. So if you want to take the hop-on, hop-off bus, or the ho-ho bus, as I like to call it, in Italy, chances are they're going to be stopping in the proximity of the area, like the Trevi Fountain or the Pantheon, but you're still going to have to do quite a lot of walking.
These days, in some Italian cities, they have golf carts.
Oh,
they can accommodate 6 to 8 people, and they can take you pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you have mobility issues or you want to explore the city quickly, this is a much better option than the hop-on, hop-off.
Yeah, and all you really have to do is hang on, right?
Absolutely. We did a golf cart tour in Puglia and Florence, and we loved it.
Mm-hmm.
We leave a link in the description below for some golf cart tours in Rome and Florence for you to check it out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah, they're absolutely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so let's check out the next question that people ask us about Italy, and is, do people speak English in Italy? Well, in most tourist places such as Rome, Florence, Venice, Milan, and maybe even Naples, almost everyone in the hospitality business speaks a little English. In hotels and restaurants and coffee shops and the stores where they're happy to take your money, you'll most likely be able to speak English with no problems. Now, if you're planning on visiting the more rural areas, like the countryside in Tuscany, well, you might notice that not as many people speak English. However, the younger generations speak it, mostly because of internet and Netflix. So if you're having difficulties speaking the language or finding someone to speak English, look for a young person and ask for help. And also remember that Italians are very friendly, and they'll do their best to help and see if there's something that they can help you with. Usually the first thing they'll do, though, is start speaking louder, but don't take that personally. It's just a habit.
They think you understand if they speak louder. Moving on to our next topic about Italy is, are there public bathrooms?
Oh my God.
Yes, the answer is depends. Okay, so in the most major cities, there are public washrooms that you can use, but they're usually paid. Not only that, most of the time you will need to find 50 cents euro or a euro coin to get in.
Yeah, some don't even give you change.
Absolutely. So always keep some coin with you, just in case you need the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can also use a bathroom at a coffee shop, but most of the time you need to pay and buy something to use the bathroom.
Like a bottle of water.
Yeah, so
which only means I'm going to have to go back and pee like in 5 more minutes.
Also, fast food restaurants might require you to buy something in order to use their bathroom. One thing you can't usually do in Italy is to use the bathroom at hotels.
Yeah, no.
Those are reserved for their clients.
Yeah.
Museums and some major attractions usually have bathrooms that you can use while visiting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing that you might notice is that most public bathrooms do not have a toilet seat.
Yes, very strange.
We are not sure why, and if you know any reason, please leave a comment below and let us know, because we have no idea why.
But actually it's better than before, because before they didn't even have a toilet. It was just like a hole in the floor. Okay, enough about toilets now. Our next question we get asked about in Italy is, where is the best place to shop for deals? Well, you know that Italy is probably one of the most famous places in the world for designer clothes, right? Armani, Versace, D&G. But the prices for Italian brands are usually about the same as you're going to find in your own country. However, you can get some great outlet malls, or you can find some great deals at outlet malls where you can find brands at discounted prices. And we'll leave a link in the description below for some of our favorite outlet malls in Italy. And one of them is near Rome, and there's another one near Florence, and both have transportation included, so definitely check them out.
Moving on to our next topic is, can I drink tap water in Italy? More than 99% of Italians only drink bottled water. Yet, tap water in Italy is totally safe to drink. Even at restaurants, they do not serve tap water at all, even if you ask.
I think it's a conspiracy.
We don't know why, but that's what it is. But if you want to fill up your water bottle at the hotel, feel free to do so on the tap in the hotel room. The water is just not safe, it's actually quite good. We drink it all the time at home, and
Exactly.
it's perfectly fine.
One thing I find really funny, though, is that in some big cities, you can actually fill up your bottle at most drinking fountains that are located in the city. And in Rome, for instance, they're called the Nazzoni.
Yeah, big nose.
Yeah, oh, right. So water comes out of the nose.
Yeah. Our next topic about Italy is, can I have eggs and bacon for breakfast?
Well, 20 years ago, the answer was no.
Now the answer is yes. You can have American-style breakfast in almost every hotel in Italy. However, we strongly recommend you to try the traditional Italian breakfast. You won't be disappointed.
Exactly, and you'll
Thank us.
Yeah.
Italians usually eat fresh pastries called cornetti in Rome or brioche everywhere else in Italy. And they're usually filled with pastry cream, jam, or chocolate. Also, it's quite common for Italians to eat pies and cakes for breakfast, and most of the time are actually freshly baked.
Sure.
Most hotels offer a nice breakfast buffet with plenty of options to pick from. And they're quite delicious, and you can enjoy it. So give it a try, you won't be disappointed. And of course, don't forget to order a cappuccino with your breakfast, because that's what Italians drink for breakfast.
Yeah, and sometimes they even dunk their brioche in the cappuccino. I'm not one of those, but hey. All right, so time to move on to our next topic, and this is one that I know absolutely nothing about. Will my blow dryer work in Italy? All right, if the blow dryer is from North America, it will most likely not work at all. Don't even try it. Same thing for hair straighteners, irons, and other small appliances that heat up. They will blow up, most likely. Most hotels, however, they're going to have a blow dryer in the room. It may not be as good as your Dyson from back home, but better than nothing, right? Now, one exception is your electric toothbrush. It's probably going to work perfectly fine with a plug adapter. Same thing with your laptops, tablets, phones, and other electronics. They're all going to work fine. You just need to bring a travel adapter like this one. And here's how it works. You just plug this side into the wall in the Italian side, and then this side goes, you know, your toothbrush or razor or computer or whatever else.
And also has USB ports here for you to use for your phones and tablets.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, love it. It's cheap and works. Okay, we have saved the most interesting question for last. And you might laugh now, because it's kind of actually...
It is actually the most hilarious thing ever.
How can I use the bidet?
How can you use, or how to use the bidet?
How to use the bidet. First thing you note in Italian bathroom in hotel is that there is a bidet. Italians are obsessed with their bidets, and they would not have a bathroom without one. It can be used to wash your rear end or your front end.
Yeah, you know, why not?
Also, it is great to wash your feet, especially when you're full of sand after the beach. Using the bidet is pretty simple. You open the water, hot or cold, and you sit according to the area you need to wash. So facing the front if you want to wash the front, or facing the back if you want to wash the back.
And don't forget the soap, eh? I mean, soap is also very important as part of this process.
Yes, but pretty simple.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this video and that it answers some of your most pressing questions or concerns about traveling to Italy. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, like how to use a bidet. We love to hear from you and answer all your questions.
In the meantime, we'll see you in our next video.
Ciao.